we're going to ask Ken and Gaylen to come back up here and face the music one more time, and to answer any questions that you've thought of over the last 2 days. Thank you very much.
Face the music. I like it. You ready to face the music, Gaylen?
Well, we started it with music, didn't we?
Well, folks, this is an opportunity that we started doing at the regional meetings. You've had a lot of things put in front of you the last couple of days, and we want to make sure if there are any burning questions, anything that you would like to convey to us, ask, whatever they are. This is an opportunity as we wrap up the conference to do that. But first, let me ask you this question. Have you enjoyed this conference? Has this been beneficial to you? Has it been a good thing? That's great. You know, Gaylen and I, we were talking earlier about the thing I love about NASBA. You know, I know there's been passionate discussions about firm mobility and some things that people maybe aren't too positive about, but that's what we like. We want to make sure that we are accepting and hopeful that when you come to these conferences, you feel comfortable and not only talking about what you're for, but also what you're against, so we can understand that.
I totally agree with that, Ken. And you know, like we said earlier, we're not all going to think the same way. But the important thing is that we find out what we do think so that we can get as close to a consensus as possible. I don't know how we're going to get everybody to always agree.
You know, but when we talk about representing the common interest of state boards and being your collective voice, we've got to do everything that we can do to make sure that we understand every state's opinion, and we hope you feel comfortable in sharing that information. I think most of you do, because I've heard a lot of commentary, a lot of questions, a good conversation I had this afternoon with a board member. So I love that opportunity. But right now we have microphones set up. We don't want you to force you to have questions, but if you have questions, concerns, ask. Anything that you'd like to bring to our attention, this is your opportunity to do that. You know, we've talked about ARSC, we've talked about the financial framework, we've talked about the examination, both domestic and internationally, certainly talked about firm mobility. So any comments, any questions, this is your opportunity. By the way, last year we had no questions. We thought this might be a precedent, you know, which I hope that means that we've done a really good job of covering the issues.
Oh, I thought we had a taker there for a minute.
Tom, are you going to ask a question?
No, I'm gonna pass the mic to somebody.
Sure. Anybody?
Steve's going to ask a question. No.
The mics work great, everybody.
Well, we don't want to make this uncomfortable. It's great if you don't have questions, but let me tell you this. My email address, kbishop@nasba.org. Anytime you have a question, call me, email me. I promise you we'll get back to you in a timely way. I appreciate so much hearing from you. I want to tell you something. You applauded the conference. I want to applaud you. I tell you what, this has been a great crowd, hasn't it, Gaylen?
Hey, you're absolutely right, Ken. You know, as well as that, we all want to thank the NASBA staff. They make it so much nicer here at these meetings, all the things that they do in the background.
That's absolutely the case. Can all the NASBA staff stand up back there? Some of you already are. Tom, Kenny, Katie, all of you guys. What an amazing job you did. Carlos, have you got a question? Not on my watch. No, I've never heard any consideration of that. Firm mobility is not a national license, and nor is individual mobility. You are under the jurisdiction of a single Board of Accountancy. My Tennessee driver's license is not a national driver's license. It's a Tennessee driver's license that other states allow me to use in their state. If I go into your state and violate the law, I have to submit myself to the jurisdiction of your laws, but it is still a single license. So, no, we're not for national licensure. You heard a lot about the 10th Amendment. We are strongly into state rights, and we will always be fighting against anything that looks like anything close to a national license.
As a fledgling NASBA-ite, I was under a little bit of the tutelage of Michael Weatherwax, and I asked him the same question, and he said, "Over my dead body." And now I stand in his shoes, you know, about 8 or 9 years later, and I would say the same thing over my dead body.
You know, I had a question earlier today about what if someone tried to pass firm mobility in a state that is pretty strongly not ready for that. And I said NASB would be right there to help you defend not getting it passed in your state if that was the way you felt. So no, we support your individual state rights. We absolutely support your right to disagree with NASBA, consensus, and whatever you want to, because that is your right as state boards. We will certainly try to be persuasive, but you will never find us trying to oppose you on something that you believe in your state.
Ken Odom.
I was thinking you were ignoring me, but
We were.
Well, yeah, we
obviously-
were.
Obviously, I was mistaken. We've had a lot of discussion this week or the last 2 days about the financial reporting framework. If we have concerns about that in our state, what actions can we take now?
Well, one of the first things, Gaylen, that we wanted to do, and we talked about it a lot, is, you know, there's been a lot of thought leaders, the board of directors, a lot of people that have been involved in NASBA, a lot of communication with many of you. So we thought we were on pretty firm ground when we were, you know, basically trying to find out where our state boards of accountancy are as relating to the financial framework. But we didn't want to go ahead and make plans of what you should do or what we should do until we understood what the collective voice was, what the common interest of state boards is and will be in Chicago when we're there. That being said, what we've offered is we will be glad to come to any state board and do the deep dive discussion about that. We are talking about right now, what can we do to go forward? Again, this is not an adversarial relationship with our good friends at the AICPA. This is a disagreement about how we address the gap issue. But we're going to get there, and any state board that wants additional information, we will certainly keep you up to breast on what we're doing as we're having ideas come along, but we want to come to you if you have any questions.
Thank you, Big Ken.
Big
Little,
Ken.
little Ken,
Thank
to your question, in my breakout session yesterday, and I think, Ken, I believe you were in there. Were you in our breakout session? We had someone that say, you know, it's too late. The cows are out of the barn, and I guess I feel a little bit troubled about that because they haven't even issued the framework yet. So we've been dealing with a moving target here, and I don't think that we want to overreact one way or the other. Let's take a look at it when it comes out, and then we're going to be prepared because we've been talking about this for quite some time. I think we know what's in it, but you know, we're going to see what happens on Monday.
I would tell you from personal experience, if you have a good horse and a good dog, you can put the cows back in the barn.
Which are you, Ken? That's what we want to know.
I don't have a question. I have a comment that I want to make, and I have a reputation for challenging people, but I also want to make it clear that I also want to give kudos where they belong. And a few years ago, NASBA was ramping up for international evaluations, and they sent a couple people up to Illinois because we had one of the best international evaluators, if not the best in the country. And they visited with us for a while and learned a little bit and took it back with them. Well, in the meantime, my international evaluator gave me 4 days' notice on retirement, and NASBA stepped up and bailed us out, basically, because we had no place to turn. And I just wanted to give kudos to James Suh and his staff, and to Ed Barnicott, and to Brittany Henderson King, who is over the International Evaluation Services. She does an outstanding job. Those of you who have not been using their international evaluations services and are thinking about doing that, I would encourage you to do so. The second thing I want to give kudos to goes back to James Suh again. Most of you already know that we are moving our offices, not because we want to, but because we have to. And if you've never moved an office before, let me tell you, moving 2.5 hours north and having to hire all brand new staff is a nightmare. And in discussion with James and his staff, they invited me and my assistant to Nashville to spend a day going over the logistics of what it takes to move a staff of 13 people, brand new, 2.5 hours north. And I just want to say thanks to NASBA for picking up the ball and helping us there, and they deserve an awful lot of credit. So when NASBA says they're there to help, they're there to help. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Russ, very
Thanks,
much.
Russ.
And by the way, any state board, I don't want to say bail you out, because that's what we're here to do. You know, we're there for you. So, you know, we have a lot of great resources at NASBA, and if you find yourself in a pinch, in a bind, I think several of you can tell you that we've been into your state to help you out of situations, and we'll always do that for you. That's why we exist. So thank you, Russ, for that. Appreciate it very much. Any other questions? You know, Gaylen, I think we're the only thing between them and the lottery or whatever, you know,
The lottery?
the lottery or whatever. Feels like the lottery to me. I never win it, you know, it's like 1 in a million or
You know, I tell you what, you know, that's the highlight of these meetings, so.
Well, again,
It's
thank
time,
you
it's
for being
time.
a great participating audience. I mean, the conference is only good if you're all involved and doing the things you did. So thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you in Maui.
Maui,
Thank you.
folks.
Maui. Thank you.